claim, right?
My question is,
shut up!
Yelling doesn't get you anywhere.
You said this was, I'm going to kick your ass out of this server in 1 second.
Oh, okay.
That's what he wants.
Really angry.
Why don't you
wants.
just stop
So what he
pretending
wants.
like you can ask another
he's
question?
behaving like a total... So he gets removed, so he never has to concede. The Eötvös effect doesn't exist in physical reality. There's no natural phenomena. Conjuring one on an aeroplane with some scales and putting it on a graph doesn't make this a natural phenomena he can science.
You know, something else funny about Newtonian mechanics, it's presuming that the Earth is not spinning. That's like every equation doesn't account for that.
Because it's not spinning.
Hold on, you have to expand on that. Hold on, let me just switch into 107-year out-of-date Newtonian mechanical world. Click. There we go. Can you explain that for me?
Yeah, it's all of the equations are taking place in an inertial reference frame. There is not a non-inertial reference frame in Newtonian mechanics.
The non-inertial turning reference frame in a description of Coriolis is the turning Earth. If you're saying the descriptions come from the inertial reference frame, that would be, in the case of the Coriolis description at least, your hot air balloon that's not attached to Earth. You're saying the Newtonian descriptions come from the inertial reference frame, but there's no non-inertial reference frame referenced. Is that what you're saying?
Well, there's no turning Earth reference within Newtonian mechanics. It's all takes place in an inertial plane. Whenever you look at the math to it, there's no accounting for a non-inertial turning reference frame.
Can anybody challenge him on this? Can anybody say, no, you're wrong? No, he does refer to a non-inertial turning reference frame, presumed to be Earth, in the 107? Yeah, 107-year out-of-date rhetoric that is, in name only, Newtonian. Can anybody challenge this? I just don't want to agree with you and say, wow, that's amazing. Because, you know, as much as I'd like to think I'm pretty good with Newtonian gravity, I don't know it all, so who can I lean on?
There's a reason it's out of date.
Yeah, but it's still fascinating. If he's correct, I just don't know whether he is or isn't.
Oh yeah. Newtonian mechanics simplifies so much. That's one of the main points you learn when you take a high school physics course is we're not accounting for air resistance. We're not accounting for the spin of the Earth. We're not accounting for any of these things. That's kind of why it was abandoned, because it simplifies everything and removes as many variables as are deemed insignificant, which still have an effect, but it's not significant enough that he cared about it.
What has an effect?
The non-inertial turning reference frame not being referred to by Newton in his mechanics. But, you know, if it's not referred to, if there's zero reference to it, and you're saying that when educated on it were given disclaimers that, no, we have to consider us as stationary when doing this.
Not have to consider, just that it has an effect. It's not that it is. In general, when you do it, the effect is insignificant.
I was going to say negligible, insignificant. You say, yeah. Okay, yeah, that sounds
same
familiar.
word.
But that's why I asked what effect. That's why I asked what effect is the man talking about?
I mean, I think it was Citation Police earlier that was pointing out all the different vectors, and I gave a shout out to Eötvös because he was barking on about it a few years back, saying we didn't, we were shills and stuff because we didn't talk about it. Shout out to you, YouTube.
Well, I think the lad talking there a minute ago, was he a baller? That lad?
No, I don't think so. Based on his tone. Jonathan, are you a baller?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I called that wrong. Yes, he is.
Yeah, I thought so, because
so did I.
Yeah, because the way I knew from the way you said, Jonathan, you mentioned earth turn, and I can't remember what else, and you said it would be negligible. Just the way you were speaking, I knew you were a baller. because I knew that you were factoring them in as a reality.
But to answer your question, Nathan, about the Newtonian physics applying to that non-inertial turning reference, isn't that their assumption that we're being held to the Earth while it spins, and that when you're trapped in that little gravity air pocket bubble that suddenly makes you be spinning at 1,000 miles when you're stationary, that's their link with the Newtonian gravity to that
maybe,
rotating reference.
Maybe, but not according to the guy that just spoke a second ago called Jonathan, because he's saying, no, there is an effect. It's just in the maths it's considered negligible.
I trigger ballers all day.
Yeah, I'm just saying when
Like
you do the math using Newtonian physics, you don't account for a lot of things that you deem negligible, like how weight at different latitudes is different. You don't account for that. You don't say, oh, at this latitude it's going to be 0.5
Let me
newtons
get it
less.
straight. You've just thrown in the Eötvös effect, right?
I'm just throwing in things that I've seen.
Eötvös effect, you've seen that, have you?
Just math that I've seen relating
Math? What about the effect?
to it. The Eötvös effect, I don't know enough about to accurately speak
You
on.
just claimed it.
I only know enough about.
You just claimed it.
I'm only talking about
You just
things
claimed
that I
it.
can accurately speak on.
Hello? 25 seconds ago, you just claimed it.
I just claimed, because I've seen math relating to it. That's all I know.
Right.
Is that
well, so
people
no
have
Eötvös
accounted
effect,
for
then.
the effect and say, oh, this is what the difference would be.
If there was an effect, have you seen that effect to validate that is actually an effect?
If I had the money to travel, I would.
Is that a no?
No.
But do you get the basics?
Sorry,
the
just
basis
need you
of
to
what I'm
concede.
saying, right?
Typical baller. Yes, so we'll try that once more. Do I need to slow down, or will you have the balls to concede?
Do you get the basis of what I'm saying, though?
Do you get the basis of my annihilation of your claim of Eötvös? Do you get it? Do you think you need to ask me what I get and chant non-stop? Do you get that I've just taken your claim?
I've made one real point in that Newtonian mechanics don't account for a lot of things.
You're getting irritating real fast, Jonathan. You've asked me what I... Stop talking. Hello?
Oh, I'm irritated. Oh, I'm so concerned.
Yeah. You're going to stop talking long enough for me to point out that which you've yet to concede, which is that your claim of Eötvös effect only exists in maths. That's not a valid effect that you can experience.
Well, there
he is again,
done.
triggered as all hell, because obviously he's made a claim that's been annihilated by a flat earther and he's yet to concede. So he's going to chant straight through the middle of me reiterating it for the third time. Maybe he'll ask me what I need to concede at the end of this point that he's yet to concede about Eötvös effect, which isn't real. You're going to concede it?
I just want to
There are
let you.
experiments that have been done. Do you want me to just do my own in order to prove it? Is that the only way?
What's been done?
Or am I allowed to trust other
Sorry, what's been done?
experiments?
We're
that have
still
been done?
claiming it then. Okay, what's been done to validate this effect?
There's been an image posted in general a lot of a plane flying one direction and the other direction and the weight of an object measured with a graph on it. That's what I've seen on it.
That's an experiment?
A graph?
That isn't.
A graph of something being measured on a plane as it moves direction. Does this sound like a naturally occurring phenomena to you?
Well, yeah, the weight of the object is a naturally occurring
weighing
phenomenon.
stuff in planes is naturally occurring phenomena? You think that's natural?
The weight of the object is natural, and then we could move it by hand and walk with it.
Sorry,
we could use a plane because the effect will be more visible.
You don't seem to understand. You seem to be answering in the positive.
No, because just saying, a plane doesn't occur in nature is not valid reason to deny a scientific experiment.
It's not science if it's not occurring in nature. It's not a naturally occurring phenomena, so you're not going to be sciencing it. First step of the scientific method is to observe a naturally occurring phenomena. This isn't that. Eötvös effect, it's not real. It only exists in your graph. Still yet to concede it. Fourth try.
The graph is a measurement of weight, which would show the Eötvös effect.
Sorry, this is back to the same point you've just ignored completely then. Not a naturally occurring phenomena, my friend. Not something you've got scientific validity for. Just a man-made folly that you've attributed a graph to. Not a natural phenomena. Second attempt with that one. Still yet to concede my 5 attempts that Eötvös effect only exists in this graph.
Well, no, it exists outside of the graph. The graph is just a measurement.
What's the naturally phenomena that's occurred, please?
Well, the Eötvös effect would be the phenomena.
Where's
We'd
that
observe
observed?
that happening,
What's
and
observed?
then we'd say what causes
What's
this to
observed?
happen.
Don't just beg the question.
The observation is the weight changing
What observation?
as the plane moves one direction.
Yeah, that's
or the
not
other.
natural. You don't understand the word natural. You're thick. So
Does
I'll try
the
again.
object's weight?
I'll try again
do we
without
add
you
things to the
chanting
object to
straight
change
through
its
me.
weight?
Yeah, triggered Fundy.
Do we-
You're going to chant straight through me. Yeah, you've lost. Not a natural phenomena. Don't give me your
Do
man-made.
we add weight? To the
Hello, he's going to chant straight through the middle beam because he's unreasonable and a globe believer. Yeah, maybe from the comments ask why normally at this point I get very irritated with this wanker. Yeah, he won't shut up because he's lost. He hasn't got a naturally occurring effect to justify his faith in a graph that details...
Do I add weight?
There he goes again. Unreasonable wanker. He doesn't like my summary of his loss. So mid-sentence, he's going to start chanting through me, because that's what happens when you lose. He doesn't have a natural phenomena to justify his faith in a graph based on men fiddling with scales in aeroplanes. That's not a natural phenomena. That's the 3rd time, my friend. No Eötvös effect. It only exists in your graph.
Nathan, could I ask this guy about Eötvös effect?
Jonathan, I've made 3 attempts to summarise your loss there, but on all 3 separate occasions, you chanted through me and people around you are getting annoyed that you're not letting me summarise your devastating loss in regards to this non-natural phenomena you detailed from a graph known as Eötvös effect. It's not real.
I just want to ask a question to you. You haven't answered me.
Oh, really? So rather than concede the point I've made 3 times and you've chanted through on every separate occasion, when you actually listen to it, you think you've got a question you need answering? No. That's my 4th attempt for me to get you to concede the claim you made in the first instance of Eötvös effect. You haven't done it. It's not time for a question of me. It's not time for you to continually chant through me. It's time for you to concede. You don't have a naturally occurring phenomena or any science to back your fantasy belief in a graph of Eötvös effect. That's 6 attempts.
When the object's weight changes, does a human add the weight to the object or remove weight from
Where
the
does
object?
this occur in nature?
Does a human
Where does it occur in nature's my response? A repetition of the question isn't what's required. An answer to the question you've ignored 5 times is required. This isn't a natural phenomena, so in response to your question about things being weighed, I ask where it occurs in nature, and you chant the same thing through me, because you've lost.
So I'll answer my own question.
Oh, no, you will not. You'll get told in summary by me, the show host, that you've lost, because you haven't answered my question in regards to your claim of science for Eötvös, which would be step 1, natural phenomena. You don't have one.
Does the object's weight...
So time for a question? No, Fundy. Doesn't work that way. When you get a devastating loss presented to you, it's not just time for you to chant out a question of me. It's time for you to grow a pair of balls and concede that your fantasy Eötvös effect only exists in your graph and has no naturally occurring phenomena. It's not time for you to bark out a question of me.
Hey, numpty dipshit. Are you retarded or something? Jonathan.
I just want an answer to the question. It's yes or no question. Do you have an answer?
No claim, right?
My question is...
Shut up!
Yelling doesn't get you
You
anywhere.
said this was... I'm going to fucking kick your ass out of this server in 1 second.
Oh, okay.
That's what he wants.
Really angry.
Why
That's what
don't
he
you
wants.
just stop
So what he
pretending
wants.
like you can ask another
no, he's
question?
behaving like a total wanker, so he gets removed, so he never has to concede. The Eötvös effect doesn't exist in physical reality. There's no natural phenomena. Conjuring one on an aeroplane with some scales and putting it on a graph doesn't make this a natural phenomena he can science. He's had it 6 times, he's chanted through 5 attempts, and then said, no, I've got a question of you when this devastating defeat comes my way.
We're not going to move
Can
on.
I say something to him?
So,
Just
is this scientific
answer the
evidence,
question.
right? So what's the hypothesis for the Eötvös effect, please? And I want you to say it. I want both parts of it right now.
Let me reiterate something here. I came in here to
I
talk
said,
about
give me the hypothesis right now.
I came in here to
Fuck off. He's done. No more.
Yeah, what an asshole. Not willing to do anything other than chant out his fundamentalist zealotry in regards to Eötvös effect. And unless we accept his fundamentalist zealotry, he's not going to be here and tolerate us talking. He'll just chant through us. And what I'm here for, after 6 attempts to get him to concede his loss, no, we're not interested in what you're here for. You've already laid out a claim. Eötvös effect. We've annihilated it 6 times. Are we getting any concession? No, we're not. We're getting told that we're unreasonable for stopping him chanting through the summary.
Yeah, but he got what he wanted. He
Yo.
got what he wanted, which was to be kicked off, because that way he didn't have to concede.
Correct.
What was going on with him was there was an effect they call the Eötvös effect. It's not a naturally observed phenomenon, so it's not a natural effect. So the problem with this Eötvös effect is it's based around the pre-assumption that we are rotating. So that's where it all comes back to.
Exactly.
It's a begging the question fallacy for Earth rotation.